ब्रज जन रंजन यशो ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदा ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Krishna Balaram, 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 Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Lalita Vishakha, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Lalita Vishakha, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Lalita Vishakha, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Lalita Shakha, Jaya Radhe Shyam, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद्भय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवत्सदे गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री 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 वृंदावन धाम की, नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई की, जमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी महारानी की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Guru. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from chapter 1, which is entitled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra, verse number 10. Aparyāptaṁ tadasmākam balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam paryāptam tvīdam eteṣāṁ balam bhīmābhirakṣitam aparyāptaṁ tadasmākam balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam paryāptam tvīdam eteṣāṁ balam bhīmābhirakṣitam aparyāptam tadasmākam balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam paryāptam tvīdam eteṣāṁ balam bhīmābhirakṣitam
aparyāptam tadasmākam balam bhīmābhirakṣitam
balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam
paryāptam idam eteṣāṁ
paryāptam idam eteṣāṁ
balam bhīmābhirakṣitam
balam bhīmābhirakṣitam
aparyāptam tadasmākam
aparyāptam tadasmākam
balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam
balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam
paryāptam idam eteṣāṁ
paryāptam tvīdam eteṣāṁ
balam bhīmābhirakṣitam
balam bhīmābhirakṣitam
aparyāptam tadasmākam
aparyāptam tadasmākam
bhīṣmābhirakṣitam
balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam
aparyāptam
tvīdam eteṣāṁ balam bhīmābhirakṣitam
aparyāptam tadasmākam
balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam paryāptam tadam eteṣāṁ balam bhīmābhirakṣitam. Matajis? No Matajis. Aparyāptam tadasmākam balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam paryāptam tridam eteṣāṁ balam bhīmābhirakṣitam. Okay, word to word. Aparyāptam, immeasurable. Tat, that. Asmākam, of ours. Balam, strength. Bhīṣma, by Grandfather Bhīṣma. Abhirakṣitam, perfectly protected. Paryāptam, limited. Tu, but. Idam, all this. Eteṣāṁ, of the Pāṇḍavas. Balam, strength. Bhīma, by Bhīma. Abhirakṣitam, carefully protected. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by Grandfather Bhīṣma, whereas the strength of the Pāṇḍavas, carefully protected by Bhīma, is limited. Purport. Herein, an estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general, Grandfather Bhīṣma. On the other hand, the forces of the Pāṇḍavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general, Bhīma, who is like a fig in the presence of Bhīṣma. Duryodhana was always envious of Bhīma because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhīma. But at the same time, he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of Bhīṣma, who was a far superior general. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. So we'll say the prayers. Om Ajnānatimirandhasya Jnānāñjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tamsa Jeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyecha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we began again the first chapter after we finished the 18 chapters of Gita. Now we again started from the very beginning, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita means what? Song of God. Song of God. Who sang this song? To whom did he sing to? Why did he sing to Arjuna? Why not to Duryodhana or someone? He was a devotee, he was a friend, and also he was never envious. These are the three qualifications that Arjuna possessed to be a recipient of this knowledge. So Krishna said, 4th chapter, 3rd verse, that Sayevayam mayate dhya yoga proktah puratanaha bhakto sime sakha cheti rahasyam hetaduttamam. This mystery, that ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Bhagavad Gita is a mystery. Everybody cannot understand. So because Arjuna was his friend and a devotee, Krishna was very much willing to give this knowledge to him. And another qualification that Arjuna had, what was that? He was never envious. In 9th chapter, very first verse, Krishna says, idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubhat because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge. That's a very important qualification. They were never envious. Even in the Bhagavatam we see dharma projahita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. Nirmatsara, matsara means envy. Nirmatsara, those who are not envious, they can understand Bhagavatam very well. So here so Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna because he was never envious. And also Bhagavad Gita has got how many chapters? 18 chapters. How many verses? And how many sections are there in Gita? 3 sections, right? They are first Karma Yoga, first 6 chapters, middle 6 chapters Bhakti Yoga, and last 6 chapters are talking about Jnana Yoga. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur compares this Bhagavad Gita to be a jewel box. Jewel box is there, right? The lid is like the Jnana Yoga, which is 13 to 18 chapters, and the bottom of the box is compared to Karma Yoga, and the middle, the jewels, is compared to Bhakti Yoga. So like that. So, and also Bhagavad Gita discusses 5 most important basic truths. What are the 5 basic truths? Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. These 5 topics. So any verse you take from the Gita is connected to these 5 topics. So it's very important to understand these 5 topics before even we read Gita. So what is Kala, what is Karma, and what is Prakriti? Prakriti has got para prakriti and apara prakriti. Para prakriti, apara prakriti, like Krishna says in 7th chapter, Bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti emme bhinna prakriti rastada. These earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego all together constitute my separated material energies. Apart from that, there is para prakriti. What is that? aparyāptaṁ prakritim vidhime param jiva bhutam mahabaho edam dharite jagat. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprise the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. So this material nature has got para prakriti and apara prakriti. And also we see kala, time. Everything in the material world is moving with the time. Even the creation happened by the glance of the Lord, and that Kala Shakti only, everything started to move like. So all these 5 topics are very, very important. Jiva, Kala, Karma, and Karma also. Karma is like the activities that we do is also called karma, and the reactions we face for that activity is also called karma. Many a times when somebody is suffering, they'll say that, oh, this is my karma, they will say, right? And also Arjuna asked in 8th chapter about Kim Tad Brahma, Kim Adhyatmam, Kim Karma, Purushottama. So Arjuna asked that what is karma? So like that, the actions that pertain to development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma. So that is karma. So then coming back to this verse, so Arjuna, in the beginning what happened, Krishna spoke this Gita to Arjuna, and then in the very first observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and we know how the scene was set, everything. So actually the Pandu Maharaj, he passed away, and all his sons came under the care of Dhritarashtra, Bhīṣma and all. They were supposed to look after them very well. And then somehow they happened to do a lot of injustices, and they did all the so many injustices, like, burning their house and usurping their land and disrobing Draupadi and everything, like, burning their house and giving them poison. And they did all these atrocities. So during all these things, they were still in gambling match. And then they were sent to exile. And after they came back, they asked, please give us our share. We also have to get half of the share. But then they said, no. We won't give you, you can't get anything. Then they said that, and the Pāṇḍavas, they were very renowned. They said, okay, even if not half, at least give us 5 villages, because we are also Kshatriyas, we have to rule. So please give us at least 5 villages. They said no. Even they wouldn't be ready to give even the place where you can put a needle. How much space do you need? Even that much space they were not willing to give. So then, then finally they happened to send Krishna as a peace messenger, and Krishna went there. And he tried to convince them to give their share, but then they were so impious. They saw Krishna as some great personality, but they couldn't. But Bhīṣma and all, they heard Krishna's words like a nectar. but not other people because they were so impious. So they didn't budge at all. Then Krishna said, so many people, they say that what sort of God do you worship, So much bloodshed, so many people died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Is this the type of God you worship? Actually, Krishna didn't wanted this battle at all. Krishna is not a very, like a person who like to, kill so many people and... no, it's definitely God is not like that. He is the Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavantiyaha Tasam Brahma Mahadyonir Aham Bija Pradapita. He is the father of all living, and will he like his children suffering? Definitely not. Even though Duryodhana was doing so atrocities, even when Duryodhana was suffering, Krishna couldn't tolerate, because everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. He don't like to see anybody suffer. But he will not give place to adharma. Dharma, because they were doing so much injustice and they were doing so irreligious. So Krishna said, no, the war has to happen. Wherever there is, so war has to happen and we have to establish dharma. Especially the Yudhishthir Maharaj, who is like in a field, the farmers, he want to grow some crops and all. And side by side the weeds will come. And what all the nourishment they will get by pouring water and all, the weeds are getting. And then so the farmer, what will he do? He will pull out all the weeds. So similarly, Krishna as a farmer, he pulled out all the weeds like the sons of Dhritarashtra, who are so irreligious. He pulled them all out, and then he thoroughly established a religious person like Yudhishthir as the king, like that. So this is where Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanurdhara Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever the supreme archer is supreme mystic, there opulence, victory and morality, everything is there. So like that, eteṣāṁ pakshe janardhana, it is also said that wherever there is Krishna, there will be definite victory. Also we, in the further of this chapter, we'll see the signs of victory for the Pāṇḍavas also. So here Dhritarashtra, in the beginning we saw how everything was settled, and then Dhritarashtra is asking a question to Sanjaya. Sri Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samameta yuyutsavaha mamakaha Pāṇḍavaścaiva kim akurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, oh Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So Sanjaya had a special mercy, blessing from Vyasadeva. He could envision whatever was happening. Even though they were sitting in the palace of Dhritarashtra, they both were sitting each other like this, facing each other, and they could see what was happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Like how we can see in Melbourne cricket grounds, if a cricket match is happening, from here we can see that, right? Similarly like that, Sanjaya was given this special mercy so that he could see wherever he was there, he could see that, and he could relate everything what was happening to Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra, he was so he became so partial. Actually Pāṇḍava and Kauravas, they were all Kauravas only actually. But he did so much partiality. He only thought only his sons as his sons. He's always separated his brother's sons, who were actually he should have been not be doing that at all. But he was actually, Dhritarashtra was he was a religious person. He knew what is dharma and what is adharma. But the thing was, he was so weak-hearted, so much affection to his sons, that even though he knew what was dharma, he acted very adharmically. That was very unfortunate situation. So he always wanted his sons to get actually the king was Pandu only. Because Pandu had died untimely like that, and Dhritarashtra, because he was blind and there was no king, he was made king. And then not only he was blind, he was also blind in terms of spiritual things also. He was not very... And similarly, his sons were also very, very adharmic. They didn't, at least Dhritarashtra could at least distinguish between dharma and adharma, but the sons, they were even more very, very materialistic. So here, so Sanjaya said, after my sons, so he always separated what did they do. So Sanjaya is relating to what is all happening there. And then how, in the beginning, we see how to learn Bhagavad Gita through parampara, not by simply by mental speculation. We come into some interpretations and all. So it is good to read Bhagavad Gita from the parampara properly. Like Krishna himself says in 4th chapter of Gita, evam aparyāptaṁ imam rajarshayo viduhu sakale neha mahata yogo nashtah parantapa. So how imam vivashvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam, how Krishna gave in disciplic succession, one has to learn Gita properly like that, and not make our own interpretations like that. And then he also said that Dhritarashtra, like the place, influence of the place, Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, it's a very, very holy place. And Dhritarashtra was very much worried because he knew very well that the sons of Pandu were very religious, very righteous, and they were very noble and high good qualities, high character and all, and that place would definitely influence them. So even though he was desiring that his sons will get the throne, but he was doubtful of that. Why was he doubtful? He thought that the influence of the place, Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, might influence, when actually my sons are now refusing to give anything to Pāṇḍavas, but if they come to this Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, when they come to the battlefield, they might even change, they might compromise and give everything to them. So he was a little bit doubtful of that. And also he thought that for some reason, if Pāṇḍavas, by nature, they are very compassionate, they are very renounced, and if they give up, it is all ours. That's what Dhritarashtra wants. So he was thinking like that, and so the influence of the place would be more favorable to Pāṇḍavas because of their righteous nature, and also not only the influence of the place, and Krishna was on their side. So because Krishna himself was on their side, so there was all good fortune was there, like we see signs of victory as we go also. So everything. So now, even though he always separated Pandu's sons, he never considered them. Actually, he should be considering he has got 105 sons. But he only thought, my 100 sons and 5 sons of Pandu, like that. So even though this Kunti Devi, Madri had 2 sons, right? Nakula and Sahadev. After Madri, she went into Sati after her husband Pandu Maharaj, along with, she did Sati. So after her 2 sons were brought up by Kunti, but she never discriminated. She thought all the 5 children were her own sons. So she was never partial or anything. Whereas Dhritarashtra, he was being very partial and doing all this. And not only that, he was encouraging them to do all this notorious, like very atrocities, like burning the house and, trying to kill them. He was so intended to get, his sons should get the throne. That was really very attachment, like, actually a little bit I want to share from the Bhagavatam also. What happens is, when Aditi, in the 8th canto of Bhagavatam, we see Samudramanthan pastime happens, and at some point in time, Bali Maharaj, he starts to rule the entire heavenly planet. He will conquer the demigods, and he will he'll become the king of the heaven. And all these demigods are exiled, and they lost their opulence, beauty, everything, and they were exiled. So that time, Aditi, the mother of the demigods, started to feel very bad. Oh, my sons lost everything, and they have no house also to live. They have been exiled. So as a mother, she's this is what we learn from this section of Bhagavatam, is how much we get attached to our offspring. Attachment of offspring makes us so, very much biased. Dhritarashtra, he was so much attached to his offsprings. Their children, his sons should get the throne like that. So in that section, we read this verse. Kvadeho bhautiko natma kvachatma prakrate paraha kasya ke pati putradya moha eva hi karanam. What Kashyapa Muni tells, when Aditi, seeing Aditi's over affection, and she's so morose because her children lost everything and today they are exiled, her feelings she was expressing to Kashyapa Muni, Then when he came, after a long time, he comes back to his house and Aditi very nicely welcomes him, washes his feet and then gives good. Then he says that all the religious principles, are you following properly? Are you treating the guests who are coming home properly? Are you receiving them well? Are you giving water? Any householder, if they don't give water to a guest, then it is compared to a holes of a jackals like that. So any householder, he has to follow, like there are 3 principles we learn the first canto also, where this Samika Muni, the Parikshit Maharaj puts a snake. When somebody comes, 3 things we have to do. What is that? We have to receive them very well. We have to get up and receive them very nicely and then give them seat and then offer them water and speak sweet words. This is an etiquette. Anybody, even if he may be an enemy also, if they come, we have to receive them very nicely. So that's what Kashyapa Muni asked Aditi, are you doing all these principles properly? Are you receiving the guests very well? Are you doing the fire sacrifice and pleasing Brahmanas by giving them charities and all? Then she says that everything is going on very well. You have taught me everything going on well. Just that I'm very much worried that my children are exiled now. They lost heavenly kingdom. How to get it back? Please tell me that. You are like you have to guide me in this process. Of course, he tells about Payavrata and all, but we are not going to that detail. But Kashyapa Muni continued. What did he tell? When Aditi was so much attached to his children's their position, first of all, she's attached to her children, like all the Indra and all the other demigods. They lost their positions. So Kashyapa Muni is telling to Aditi. He is telling, what is this material body? Made of 5 elements. Material body is made up of Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, earth, water, fire, air, ether. This material body is made up of 5 material elements. It is different from the spirit soul. This is the entire philosophy Krishna spoke in the 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We are not these bodies, we are eternal spirit souls. So Kashyapa Muni is telling, what is this material body made of the 5 elements? It is different from the spirit soul. Indeed, the spirit soul is completely different from the material elements from which the body is made. So there is whatsoever no connection to that soul and the body. Body is completely, it's the dead matter. Soul is the real spirit that is activating this body. So he is telling the spirit soul is completely different from the material elements from which the body is made. But because of bodily attachment, one is regarded as husband or son. Because of that bodily attachment, a person starts to think he is my husband and this is my son. That attachment is the root cause. But because of the bodily attachment, one is regarded as husband or son. These illusory relationships are caused by misunderstanding. What is this? These illusory relationships are caused by misunderstanding. What is that misunderstanding? We are misidentifying ourselves with this body. That is the root cause of all this. So much attachment to the offspring in this material world is so illusory. That's what Kashyapa Muni is telling. So I just thought of mentioning that in regard to Dhritarashtra, how much he is attached to his children that they have to rule the throne. Even though they are trying to kill the Pandavas, still he is encouraging them to do all these nefarious activities. That is very, very sad. So then coming back to the next verse, Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army of military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. So Duryodhana here is acting like a big politician. What is happening? Who are all on that side? Who are all on this side? O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So he is indirectly telling that you have given this military education to the Drupada and now he is on their side, Pāṇḍavas side. So he is alerting Dronacharya. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhīma and Arjuna, great fighters like Duryodhana, Virata and Drupada. There are also great heroes. So first he is telling who are all on that Pāṇḍavas side. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhīma and Arjuna, great fighters like Duryodhana, Virata and Drupada. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Purijit, Kuntibhoja and Saibhya. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttama, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. So far he told about the Pāṇḍavas side who are all there, and now he is telling who are all on his side. But for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like you, Bhīṣma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. So Duryodhana is telling here, he is telling that there are so many people who are great supporters of me, even to fight on my behalf. They are even ready to give up their lives also. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake, and all of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and are all experienced in military science. So he is also telling that on their side. Then today's verse, aparyāptaṁ tad asmākam balam bhīṣmābhirakṣitam paryāptam tvīdam eteṣāṁ balam bhīmābhirakṣitam. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by Grandfather Bhīṣma, whereas the strength of the Pāṇḍavas, carefully protected by Bhīma, is limited. So now he is comparing here between Bhīma and Bhīṣma. So he is comparing Bhīṣma to be a very great, valiant grandsire and so strong, and Bhīma. And always Duryodhana had a great envy to Bhīma. And he also knew that if at all he would die, it would be in the hand of Bhīma only. He was so envious. So in this purport we are seeing how he is being comparing like a fig, and we just read herein the estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general Grandfather Bhīṣma. On the other hand, the forces of Pāṇḍavas are limited, being protected by less experienced general Bhīma, who is like a fig in the presence of Bhīṣma. So he is comparing, he is like a fig in front of Bhīṣma, like that. So Duryodhana was always envious of Bhīma because he knew perfectly well that if at all he would die, it would be in his hand. He would only be killed by Bhīma. So like that he is doing all these things. So here Dhritarashtra, he is doing so much of atrocities, and also Vidura in the third canto when we see, Vidura after going to, actually in the third canto what happens is, in the third canto when Vidura Dhritarashtra calls Vidura for consultation. When Vidura comes and tells to Dhritarashtra that all the atrocities that they did to the Pāṇḍavas, and he should not be unfair to them, be good. Please don't do like this to them. They definitely deserve this. Don't do this unfair thing. Don't be partial like this. So much he tells, but then he is not willing to, he is not agreeing to that at all. So then here we also see that Vidura is giving these instructions to Dhritarashtra. So what is he telling? Sayesha dosha purushadvidaste grahan pravishto yam apatyamatya pushnashi krishnad vimukho gatashris tyajasva asmai kulakaushalaya. So what is he telling here is, Vidura is telling, you are doing so much unfair to the sons of Pandu, and they are also your sons. You should be treating them equally and be equally disposed to everyone. Don't do this partial. They are also like your sons. But then he is telling that this Duryodhana is there. You are maintaining offense personified. So who is telling this to who? Vidura is telling to Dhritarashtra, you are maintaining offense personified Duryodhana as your infallible son. But he is envious of Lord Krishna. He is Krishna Dvid. He is envious of Krishna. You are maintaining an offense personified person who is, you are maintaining offense personified Duryodhana as your infallible son, but he is envious of Lord Krishna. And because you are thus maintaining a non-devotee of Krishna, you are devoid of all auspicious qualities. Relieve yourself of this ill fortune as soon as possible and do good to the whole family. So, You are maintaining this Duryodhana who is offense personified, and he is like, he envies Krishna. He hates Krishna. And you are maintaining such a person. So inauspiciousness for you. First get rid of him. He is like a blind eye. Like if I have a blind eye, is that of any use? It is only a pain to me. It's not doing anything good to me. So he is like a blind eye. First of all, get rid of him. You are getting all inauspiciousness because of him. So when Duryodhana hears this, he gets very angry. He says, you the son of kept mistress, you are living on our charity and you are spying in our interest. You get out of the palace. Accept your life, we leave your breath as a remuneration for all the services you did for all these years. Get lost. So Duryodhana has insulted Vidura. Of course, Vidura thinks that simultaneously the Lord is working internally and externally. So he thinks that this is an opportunity for me to leave this palace and all the association of all these people. He keeps the bow at the doorstep and then he walks off. He goes and he has a very wonderful time. He goes and meets Maitreya Muni on the bank of Ganges, just like that, and he hears Bhagavatam. So what in this section, what is very important to know also, many a times we go to holy places. Of course, the going to holy places is very, very good. In second canto, third chapter, it is said that every part of the body, how we have to use it in the service of the Lord. So like the eyes we should use to see the beautiful form of the Lord. The hands are used to clean the temple of the Lord. And the head to bow down to the Lord. And ears to hear about Krishna Katha. The tongue is to eat Krishna Prasad and speak Krishna Katha. Do Kirtanam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, like that. And then the heart should be, when we chant the holy name, the heart should transform. And the hands, of course, the legs are meant to go to all the holy places, visit all the temples of the Lord, like that. So otherwise they are that legs are compared to tree trunks. If you don't use that legs to go to all the temples of the Lord, all the holy places, they are compared to the tree trunks. The tree trunks look very healthy and all, but they don't move. A person who is very healthy and is very strong, if he doesn't use his legs to go to all the holy places, they are compared to the tree trunks which do not move at all, like that. So however, Vidura here, after he leaves the palace and he goes to all the holy temples and have darshan everywhere, have beautiful, take bath in all the holy rivers, everything. So the most important thing is when we go to a holy place, many people, they go to all the temples, they take bath in the Yamuna river, Ganga river, everything. That is all very, very good. But of all the things, what is the most important is, we go to a place, in a holy place, and seek out a pure devotee of the Lord in that holy place and hear from him. That is very, very important. So even so it's very important to hear from the pure devotees of the Lord in the holy place. That is the real purpose. Otherwise, in a holy place, even the dogs, donkeys, asses, they also take bath in the holy rivers like, Ganga, Yamuna, wherever. Sometimes we see even in Radha Kund, some animals, they are taking. So like that, even animals are doing that. So what is the, but the most important is, in those holy place, we have to seek out for some pure devotee of the Lord and hear from him Krishna Katha. That is very, very important. So he tells that, that's what Vidura did. He went to all the holy places and he met Maitreya Muni and he heard from him. Of course, what happens is Vidura, he first meets Uddhava. In the third canto, he meets Uddhava and then he hears about, he wants to hear about Krishna, and then Uddhava tells everything right from the time of birth of Krishna till his disappearance, all the pastime that Krishna performed in Vrindavana, Dwaraka, Mathura, everything he tells. After telling all that, then what happens is Krishna, of course, he gives this knowledge of Paramam Sthitim to Uddhava. When Krishna is giving this knowledge to Uddhava, that time what happens, Maitreya Muni also comes out of his own accord. He also comes and listens to this transcendental situation, the paramam sthitim, he is telling everything. So actually Uddhava requests Krishna to tell about Chatursloki, which he told to Brahma and all. Of course the Lord will tell about that, and also this paramam sthitim, transcendental situation. That time Maitreya Muni also comes and hears everything. So that time, after that, what happens? Vidura requests Uddhava to become his guru. But then Uddhava tells, actually you want me to accept as your guru, but there's a more great senior personality, Maitreya Muni, who also heard along with me when Krishna was telling about this Paramam Sitim. You should accept Maitreya Muni as your guru. Then Uddhava by age is much younger than Vidura or Maitreya Muni, but he is very, very advanced in knowledge and all. But still, Uddhava is teaching us how we have to follow the etiquette. What is that etiquette? Maryada Vyatikrama. We should not transgress, like override somebody. Like, if somebody more senior than us are there, then we have to respect them, we have to honor them, we have to try to hear from them, we have to accept them as a more. But we should not try to surpass them and put ourselves ahead of them like that. So Uddhava is teaching here a very good etiquette as to how one has to, even though he was so advanced, even though younger in age, but he was very much advanced. He could have been guru, but still he directed him to Maitreya Muni, and you please meet him on the Yamuna river and hear about Krishna Katha from him. So he directed him to, so this is what we learn from this pastimes. Okay, so this again Vidura heard from Maitreya from 3rd canto to 5th canto, all about Vidura Maitreya Samvada happens there. So now coming back to this Dhritarashtra, what happened was Vidura, after traveling to all the holy, just now we discussed, right? Vidura put the bow at the doorstep of the palace and he went away. And he went to all the holy places, he heard from Maitreya Muni, everything happened. And again Vidura came back to the palace. Was Vidura very attached to palace life again? Why did he come? He renounced everything and he went away in search of God, in God realization, going to all the holy places, hearing Maitreya Muni. Again he came to palace. Was he attached to palace again? No. He came. When he came, they very nicely welcomed him. All the Yudhishthir Maharaj, everybody very nicely welcomed him. And they said that, oh, our uncle has come back now. Our life has come back. Like, all these days we were like, so now our life has come back. Vidura, very nice, good reception and good honor, everything. They made him very, very comfortable, and and that verse comes there. Bhavadvida Bhagavatas Tirthi Kurvanti Swayambhuvo Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadabrata, like that. So the devotees are holy place personified. Wherever they go, they convert that place into a holy place. You are like that. Vidura, because of his purity, wherever he goes, he converts that place to a holy place like that. Like Prabhupada, he left at such a ripe old age, he went to America, and wherever he went, because the Lord is situated in their hearts, pure devotees' heart, they convert all the place into a place of pilgrimage. So like that, they very nicely welcomed Vidura, and then Vidura didn't want to give this piece of news that Yadu dynasty had was finished like that, but because nobody want to give unpalatable news, especially he don't like Pāṇḍavas feeling very bad at any time, so he didn't want to discuss. He thought that such news will anyway spread without even our telling, so I don't want to disclose this. So that all these things happened, and afterwards Vidura comes, and then he sees Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is very comfortably sitting in the palace and enjoying all the hospitality extended to him by Yudhishthir Maharaj, and is making himself very comfortable. He is not even understanding his position, what he is. All his sons are dead, and he is coming and making himself enjoying the hospitality given by Yudhishthir Maharaj and living life very comfortably without any worry. He is not even worried that I'm old. So Vidura comes and tells, you are sitting here and you don't know how inevitable time will surpass everything and take away everybody like that. No, you are making yourself very comfortable. You did so much injustice to them, tried to kill them in every way, and now all your sons are killed. Now you are coming and sitting in their house, and look at your condition. You are so old, your invalidity, and you cannot hear. Your throat is full of mucus, and your liver is defective. And all these things, like this condition, you are coming and making yourself very comfortable. Don't you feel ashamed? The people whom you tried to kill, and you are enjoying the hospitality in their house. Don't you feel ashamed? You are like a household dog. Food given by Bhīma you are eating. You don't feel ashamed like that. Look at your condition. How you are not even feeling any guilty like that. You are enjoying this hospitality. Come on, get out. Quickly you get up. Immediately before the day dawns, immediately we have to leave the house. And then Gandhari says, what should I do? Please take me also. So Gandhari also will go with them. Of course, then Dhritarashtra becomes very determined now by the advice of Vidura. He's very determined, and he goes to the forest, and then he does Ashtanga Yoga, and finally he leaves his body like that. So this is all stories there. Of course, Yudhishthira Maharaj in the morning he wakes up. As usual, he does all the rituals of giving charities to Brahmanas, worshipping the cows, and doing all these rituals he'll do. And then his usual routine was to come and offer obeisances to the elders. So he comes and sees his blind uncle is not there, and Mother Gandhari is not there, and here Uncle Vidura is not there. Where did they all go? And then he asked Sanjaya, where are they? Sanjaya says, even I don't know. I was also cheated by these great souls. I served them all this, and they didn't even tell me. They just went away. They just have gone. I also have no clue where they have gone. So like that, and Yudhishthira Maharaj is very much worrying, my blind uncle, they went to forest, what will happen to them? As if he is the maintainer, he is the one who is protecting them like that. That time Narada Muni comes and tells to Yudhishthira Maharaj, what are you worrying about? Don't worry, they are all, don't think that you are the maintainer. Everybody is being maintained by the Lord only. We can't maintain anybody. So don't even worry. Every living entity is a food for another living entity. So we don't have to worry about that. They are all safe like that. They have all gone to this, and then they are, he's being directed by Vidura, and he's doing Ashtanga Yoga, and they are all safe, and finally they are going to go back to Godhead like that. Don't worry about them like that. So Narada Muni will come and tell all that. So here Dhritarashtra, how he did all these things, and now after his sons were dead, and now he is again coming and sitting in their house. So Vidura comes to enlighten. He was not attached to palace. He didn't come back so that he wanted to again continue to enjoy the palace life. What is the duty of a pure devotee, like a saintly person? To cut. Cutting what? Cut. Not the saintly people, they don't go to householders' life, to householders to enjoy some material facilities there. They come to give them knowledge so that to cut that materialistic and then, that is why pure devotees association, sadhu sangha, sarva shastra kaye, lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoye. All the great devotees in all their prayers, one common prayer of everybody, Prahalad Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, and Dhruva Maharaj, everybody prays one common prayer in every prayer is that even if we have to come to material world, no worries, we don't mind about that at all. But please, see that we get the association of devotees and hear from them Krishna Katha. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido, satam prasangam mama virya samvido, bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha, tajjoshanadashu apavarga vartmani, shraddha ratir bhaktir anukramishyati, satam prasangam mama virya samvido, bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha. Please give us the association of your pure devotees so that we hear Rasayana Katha, Krishna Katha from their mouth. That is the real, when that sound vibrations enter into our ear holes, then Pruthamaharaj says that the living entity who is completely forgotten Krishna, he will wake up. That is why the Shravanam is so powerful. Like from the womb to the tomb. So the child, when the child enters into the womb of the mother, the first sense that develops in the child is hearing. And when we die, the last sense that leaves is also hearing. From womb to tomb. So hearing is so powerful that even Rukmini now in temple we are having the 10th canto going on. Rukmini, she just heard about Krishna. She didn't even see Krishna. She just heard about from Narad Muni and she got attracted. She made up her mind, if at all I marry, I'm going to marry only Krishna and no one else. And she also gave an action plan. She sent a letter through Brahmana to Krishna and she not only expressed her desire to marry him, she also gave an action plan how Krishna should come and when he should come, how he should come, when he should kidnap her, everything, all action plan was given. So like that, this hearing is so powerful. Prahalad Maharaj also in the womb of his mother, when Narad Muni, when Hiranyakashipu went to do austerities in Mandarachala mountain, that time all the demigods, they came and attacked Hiranyakashipu's palace, breaking, dismantling everything. They caught hold of this Kayadu, come, we'll take you, we'll keep you under our custody like that. Indra and all the demigods. That time Narad Muni came. Narad Muni came and told, what are you doing, Indra? What's going on here? He said, no, just Hiranyakashipu is not there. And this innocent lady, she's sinless. Why are you arresting her? They said that, no. Maybe this lady is sinless and innocent. But in the womb of this lady, there's seed of this big demon. Hiranyakashipu, the seed of this big demon is there in the womb of this lady. So that is why, till that child is born, I don't know, some people so in the seed of this woman there's a great demon who is going to be the he's going to so in the sorry, I should have put off. So in the seed of this woman there's the seed of this great demon. So till that child is born, we'll keep her in our custody, like that the demigods told. But then Narad Muni told, you are completely mistaken. Guess what? In the womb of this lady, there's a pure devotee of the Lord. You cannot kill him. You cannot kill him. So when the demigods heard from Narad Muni that in the womb of this lady there's a pure devotee, this is the difference between divine and demoniac. Demoniac people, even good advice is given, they don't take it. They just do their atrocities still. But because divine people, demigods, when they heard from Narad Muni, they put faith in his words, and not only they released Kayadu, they also circumambulated her. So like this, and after that Narad Muni brought Kayadu into to his ashram and protected her from all directions, because to protect that child also, and also Kayadu from all directions, and he was every day speaking Bhagavatam to her. And Kayadu used to be very tired and she would doze off like this. But the child is hearing. When he gave pause, he's telling, come on, continue, I'm hearing. Baby is telling from the womb. So Prahalad and the demoniac schoolmates, when he gave this knowledge to all the demoniac schoolmates, they asked one question. Prahalad, you are always in the four walls. And you are always confined in four walls. How did you get this bhakti? They asked this question. How did you know saintly people would come? How did you get this bhakti? Then he relates all this story. Like in Mandarachalam, when my father went, that time all the demons, the demigods, they attacked and this everything. And I was like, I was taken, my mother was taken by Narad Muni, and I heard Bhagavatam from Narad Muni, and he is coming from Parampara. I heard from Bhagavatam from Narad Muni, and whatever I have heard, so because of Narad Muni's advice and instructions, I got this bhakti. Because it's coming from parampara, I got this devotion. So now if you hear from me, you will also get bhakti like that, he will tell. So like that, all this story is very, very nice. So, here in this chapter, we see that, so ultimately, even though Krishna tells about karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, everything, but he is mainly stressing on bhakti yoga, because only through bhakti you can know me. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tadanantaram. One can know me only by devotional service. So, devotion to Krishna is very, very, even little bit, swalpam apyasya, neha abhikramanashosti pratyavayo na vidyate, swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. Even little bit of bhakti, little bit if we do also, Krishna will protect our human form. He tells, I'll protect you from the most dangerous type of fear. What is that most dangerous type of fear? Becoming animal, lower species. The same lecture, if I go in a zoo and give this lecture, will the animals be able to understand? No. Human form of life is very, very special. Ahara nidra bhayamaithunamscha samanyametat pashubhir naranam dharmo hi teṣāṁ adhiko vishesho dharmena hinaha pashubhi samana. Human form of life is very, very precious. Every moment in our life is very precious. We are renting this body. We never know when the owner will tell vacate. Krishna is the owner of this body. He'll tell Mrityu sarva haraschaham. 10th chapter of Gita, Krishna tells Mrityu sarva haraschaham. In the form of death, I come and devour everything that we are all attached to. So like that, Dhritarashtra was very much attached to his sons. Then very nicely, Uddhava actually, Krishna sends Akrura to Hastinapura to give good counsel to Dhritarashtra. Go and tell him, he's doing all this very not good. Then he tells that, I can completely understand you, Akrura, whatever you are telling, everything, all your instructions are very, very good. But they are like lightning, but they cannot stay in my cloud-like mind. Because I am very much prejudiced. I am very much prejudiced to my own sons. I cannot help. I know that I am doing wrong, but I am helpless. I can't do anything. So that's what he told, that even your instructions are very good. They are like lightning, but they cannot stay in my cloud-like mind. So like that he tells, and then he, so much knowledge, Akrura tells him so much, don't be like this. If you be very, very good, and if you treat everybody equally, your good character, everything, then you will reap the results of all these good things. But if you do, on the other hand, if you will be like, do all these things, then there may be chance of going to hell also. So he will alert him in so many good counseling, everything, but still Dhritarashtra is so much. He says that I know everything, but still I can't help. The attachment, that's why I shared that Kashyapa Muni's Aditi story. The attachment to one's offspring and, that position is so much people are attached, they don't even go to any lengths to achieve that. So much, this thing. So, anyhow, I will end the class. Thank you all very much. It was a good opportunity to little bit touch upon Bhagavatam as well. So, thank you. Any questions anybody has, we can take. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
If someone was to say a devotee was to take like one more birth, right? For a spot in the was to take one more birth. A friend of mine told me that in the womb, a devotee isn't the same kind of suffering that a karmi would.
Correct.
Say more about that, if you know.
What he will.
Understand what I'm saying?
What he'll get next life.
A devotee, say he has to take one more birth.
Yeah.
Right? And someone told me, he says, yeah, but the birth isn't as bad as like a karma in the womb.
Okay, yeah.
Can you say anything about that?
I mean, taking human form of life is good, but the thing is, waking up our Krishna consciousness is very important. Otherwise, again, we get into even the life in the material world, the devotees, whatever we face, because if you are Krishna conscious, those material pangs will not really do, but the karmi life is not good. But in Lord Kapila teachings, 3rd canto, you were telling that how the child goes through all these miserable conditions in the womb of the mother, and then once it comes out, completely forgets everything, and then gets into. But the most fortunate situation would be if he gets association of devotees. He can revive his original Krishna consciousness and go back to Godhead. Otherwise, in the material world, if there is no Krishna consciousness, then there is life is very miserable only.
He said that in the womb, the suffering isn't the same for, say, someone who has to only take one more birth. If he's just aspiring devotee. So I was wondering if you, about inside the womb, that suffering, if for devotee would be less.
Inside the suffering is definitely more, because have you seen any child straight in the womb of the mother? Because there's so much less space, like this complete arch like that, and upside down, and there's so many all these liquids, there's worms there, they're biting this tender body, and mother is eating all this very spicy food, and it is feeling very much horrible. That is why in that 3rd canto, it is said that the child suffers so much in the womb of the mother, and that time when he also, if the soul is pious, it will pray to the Lord, please I never ever want to enter into the womb of the mother ever again. Because so much suffering, I definitely don't want to enter into the womb. Then again he comes out, it's all gone like that. So that is why an intelligent person has to know this, this is a very, very miserable, birth, death, old age, disease are very, very, so he has to make, because Prahlad Maharaj says only human form of life affords one a chance to return home back to Godhead. So we should not endeavor for this material economic development and all, and use that time for furthering Krishna consciousness, which is an eternal, if I earn so much money in this life, when I die, everything gone, zero, next life. But if I do Krishna conscious about 80%, Krishna tells in the 6th chapter of Gita, Arjuna asks, if somebody does for some time and they deviate, what will they get? Then Krishna says that definitely they'll be given opportunity to be born as a Brahmana family or a Vaishya family. Or if they do it for a long time, then they can be born in a Goswami families. Wherein, Prabhupada writes in the purports of the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that myself and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, we both got the opportunity of being born in this transcendental families, where from the beginning, all these devotional principles Goswami family, all the Krishna conscious, from the beginning Prabhupada was taught, was taken to Radha Krishna temple, and he used to play with Rath Yatra, playing like that. So auspicious, and because they are already so much divine consciousness, and they can revive this divine consciousness and further their Krishna consciousness and go back to Godhead. So Krishna very, very mercifully, whatever we do bhakti, whatever little bit at least, we will definitely protect that from being gliding down to animal species at least. So human form of life is precious, and more precious is the devotee association. It's very, very important, especially when I read the story of Bharat Maharaj. We know the story of Bharat Maharaj, right? So it was so unfortunate. Bharat Maharaj left all the palace, the beautiful queen, all the opulence, everything, and he renounced at the prime time of his life and came to Gandaki river to completely perfect his life. Unfortunately, he got attached to this deer. And even when he was doing, he was so much attached, and he pretty much became like a mad person. He started to think that, the earth was so beautiful when the steps of this deer were there. When we say about Krishna's lotus feet, but he's thinking and he was kissing the deer, so got attached so much. But unfortunately, if some devotee association he had, they would have told, Arey Baba, what are you doing? You left everything and came. Please, okay, you, as a deer, as an animal, you have to feed food and all, but don't completely don't get taken over by that. You have your purpose of life and your coming here is totally different. It's getting deviated. Somebody would have alerted him, but unfortunately there was no devotee association. That is why we have to really be very careful, like devotee association, like a fencing ourselves from, how much ever we think, sometimes, we'll have some bad experience in the devotee association. We think, arey, this is not good, let me go out. I'm better off outside. Outside is even more worse. Outside is even, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, living with the materialistics is like, living in the cage of lions is even tigers and lions is safer than being in the materialistic association. Because whatever little that bhakti is there, that will also go. Very dangerous. So that's why association of devotees is very, very important. In many stories in Bhagavatam also, we see that association of devotees is the one that protects our Krishna consciousness. It will keep us on track and we get inspired, we get to learn so much. And sometimes we may not have some good experiences also, but still we have to overlook that. Think that if I leave the devotee, there's even more danger there. We are not going to get anything better there, If Krishna consciousness is difficult, material life is impossible. Material life is even more hard. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.